Hey, I have fun for the day. You know, it was, I think it was Sunday, the reading was Jesus feeding the 5,000. And yeah, it's a miracle, and you know, they only had some loaves and some fishes, and he turned it, he took what they had and turned it into this thing. But he sees their hunger, and he wants to fill it. Well, this is what I think you do for a living around here. You see people's hunger and you choose to fill it. So this is a story that I think is exactly 25 years old. So it goes back to one of our first offices at 1848 East 1st Street, and we had like 6 people working there at this little storefront. And one day a kid, we'll call him Moreno, he appears at the door. And he's like a little chaparrito, he's like 15 years old, and ta-da! And we go, oh my God! Well, he had been gone for 9 months in a probation camp. And Emily and Michelle, who kind of did the reception area, they know exactly how to see his hunger and to fill him. And so they go, wow, Moreno, look at him, and they're elbowing each other. He's a man already, and he's both hating this attention and loving it at the same time. And so, they know how to see his hunger and fill it. They know how to tell him that he's enough. And then minutes later, a huge number of extra large pizzas arrived, and so Emily and Michelle decided to kill the fatted pepperoni and to welcome home the prodigal Moreno and to hand me the bill. And so, and they know how to see and recognize his hunger and to fill it. So we're sitting there eating pizza, and then Moreno leans into me and he says, can I talk to you alone in your office? I said, sure. So I grab my pizza and I sit behind my desk, and he pushes very close up and he reaches into his pocket and he fishes out an envelope and he hands it to me. And with great pride he says, my grades from probation camp. And I said, de veras? And I start to fish out the transcript, and he says, straight A's. I go, serio, perdón? He goes, me la rayo. Straight A's. So sure enough, I pull out the transcript, and there they are. You know, 2 B's, 2 C's, 1 A. And I think to myself, not the straightest A's I have ever seen. So I decided not to tell him that he's an unreliable reporter. And so I go, wow, and I put the transcript back in. I said, you know, Miko, on everything I love, if you were my son, I'd be the proudest man alive. And suddenly he takes his 2 little devils and sticks them in his eyes, and he's trying to stem the flow of tears which seem to be inevitable. And I look at this kid, and I know that his mom and dad are lost on the streets. I know that his grandmother, whose task it is to raise this kid, is not up to the task. I know that 30 days before, I had buried his very, very best friend who was killed in our streets for no reason whatsoever. So I look at him and I said, I bet you're afraid to be out, aren't you? He just starts to wail and sob and clears a space at the front of his desk and folds his arms and leans on his arms and just sobs, and I let him cry. Finally, I reach over to him, I grab his arm, and I said, you're going to be okay. And he sits up with an almost defiance, and he says, I just want to have a life. And I said, Moreno, who told you you wouldn't have one? You know, I know you think you're in a deep, dark hole, but the truth is you're in a tunnel. And it's the nature of tunnels that if you just keep walking, you'll see the light. I can see it. I'm taller than you are. You're going to be fine. And I hand it back his grades. And he says, hell yeah. After all, straight A's. So here's what you can do today. Be on the lookout for folks who are hungry, because we all are. And seek to fill it by reminding people that who they are is enough.